I hit the button.
Hello, friends, and welcome to Somewhat Useful. I'm Will Myers.
And I'm Christy Price.
And on this show, we'll be discussing the topics shaping the world of digital entrepreneurship and tackling questions about Squarespace and web design. We're figuring this world out one website at a time and hope you find this somewhat useful.
Somewhat useful. And our live episodes are continuing on YouTube every other Tuesday. So if you're listening on the podcast, come join us live sometime.
And today we are going to be talking about killing your darlings, or killing the products or processes in your business that need to die to make room for what's coming next, because there might be some things that are coming next. And we'll talk about where Squarespace fits into all of this for each of us. But first, Christy, you just got back from Japan.
I did.
On vacation. Was it a week?
It was only a week, which I have to say, if you're going to go to Japan, stay longer, because I wasn't over jet lag by the time I left.
Yeah, fair. Yeah, that's what's the time change?
14 hours.
Oh,
it's brutal.
Yeah, that's big. That is pretty brutal. Did you hit the ground running when you got there?
Of course. You don't want to miss out on anything.
Well, give me like the biggest highlight. What'd you do? Biggest thing.
Oh, okay. So my daughter Lily and I went to a lady's house in suburban Yokohama, and she taught us how to make wagashi, which is Japanese sweets. So
fun.
Not only do we get to make and eat Japanese sweets, but I got to be really nosy and see what somebody actually lives like in suburban Japan.
What did you learn? Anything fun? Anything interesting?
It was amazing. It was so cool. So it was really just the conversation with her, just realizing how parallel our lives are. She has a daughter the same age as my daughter. She's my age. She's, she's an entrepreneur, right? So it's just, there are obviously so many differences, but we had so much in common. It was just a really beautiful moment.
How did did she speak English?
Yes. So she lived in Boston 20 years ago for 2 years. And one of the reasons she does this is because she wants to keep up with her English. And so
cool.
It was really amazing.
Airbnb experiences or something that you signed up with?
I mean, I booked it on TripAdvisor, but yeah, same.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah,
same idea.
You could, yeah.
How fun.
It was awesome.
Good. Yeah. Good little trip to Japan. Yeah. And you also just did what, like 4 months ago or 3 months ago too?
Oh, I know. I went for the first time at the end of November, beginning of December. And then I had an opportunity to tag along on my husband's work trip last week. And so I'm not going to say no, right?
No.
It was amazing. Yeah.
Absolutely not. Did you fully, I'm super interested in Japan. So
yeah.
Did you fully take off from work? Did you work a little while you were there?
Yeah. So on my email signature, I called it a semi-unplugged day. So I was still checking emails and just like seeing what came through. I still was active in my memberships, my YouTube Growth Lab, and Web Design Roundtable. So, I still did that. But other than that, I didn't do any client work. I didn't really do anything else. So it was very nice to have just like a little bit of work every day for some structure. But the beauty of it was, with the 14-hour time difference, I think we talked about this when you were living in Europe, is that I woke up in the morning and I would have a bazillion emails that I would go through, reply to the handful that needed replying to. And then it was nighttime in the US and I didn't hear anything until I woke up the next morning and checked my emails. And so for me, I'm like, I really do need to stop checking my emails all day.
Yeah.
Like that worked just fine. And it was so much less effort because I only had to go in there once and go through everything instead of all day reacting to things, which takes me away from other stuff that I'm doing. You and I have talked about this before. I know you're so much better at this, managing your inbox just a couple times a day. than I am, but it was just another signal to me. It's like, why am I in there all the time?
Yep.
Why?
Yep. There's no need. It's so
Mhm,
interesting, like thinking through if we're stressed in our work life or we're trying to
mhm,
get something fixed, we're trying to figure out why, and we go through all these productivity hacks. The real
mhm.
answer is typically something a lot more similar to this, which is like
Yes.
stop checking your email as much, or
Yeah.
don't don't go on social media or something.
I
It's not
mean,
like a hard thing.
no, and also I don't know why I'm in there all the time. Like nothing is that time sensitive. Like it's not life or death by any means. I
Mm-mm.
don't need to be monitoring my email.
No. And if
Nobody
you
needs
don't
me that
reply a little bit
quickly.
later, like that's
Yeah.
fine. That's totally fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really love that about Europe is that
Mhm.
you wake up not to an inbox full of emails because no one
Mhm.
in the US had woken up yet. And I always loved
Yeah.
that when we were there. Well, fun. Good trip to Japan.
Thanks. Yeah. What have you been up to?
Just working, just trying to navigate the changing landscape that is web design right now.
Yeah.
A lot has been shifting, especially in my
Mhm.
business. I posted this in my Slack group for my membership. But it's now official. Plugin sales have kind of been decreasing at like a
Yeah.
steady clip for like the
Mhm.
last year and a
Mhm.
half. And now it's
Mhm.
official. That's like, I think this is a general trend we're going to be seeing, and it's time to
Mhm.
rethink some things.
Mhm.
And that doesn't mean we're going to get rid of plugins. That doesn't mean we're
Right.
not going to release any new plugins. But this is just like, oh, okay, the industry's shifting, and so I need to be talking with my audience maybe a bit more than I have in the past, and just figure out what the next thing is that they need. So it's like it's like you're kind of mourning the loss of like this current product line, but
Yeah.
also excited about the possibility of like what's the new thing? What are we gonna
Opening up
do
space
next?
for something new. I love
Yeah,
it.
I'm not
Yeah.
we're not necessarily killing our darlings here just yet.
Right. Right.
But opening up space for some other things. So it's
Yeah.
it's been an interesting like year or last 3 months, just sort of like getting all the data and looking at everything and talking to people.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and speaking of changes, I think Squarespace has been rolling out changes
Yes.
like crazy. Um, Now, if you are a Circle Silver member, you now have access to Circle Labs. I think we talked about that last
Oh,
time.
we did. Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
but there are a lot of things that you can go in there and turn flags on and try out, which is really cool. But I have to say, for me, I'm bringing it back. I'm
You're
bringing
bringing
back
it
the
back.
classic editor sections, Will,
Ooh,
because Fluid
tell me.
Engine Fluid Engine is great for a lot of purposes, right? It's great for design where you have overlapping elements, where you want to do something a little interesting or different with your layout. You get to fiddle with it on mobile and make it look different on mobile if you want. But my goodness, that takes a long time. And
Yeah.
when I need simplicity and something that I can hand off to a client that they won't destroy,
Mhm.
I'm back to the classic editor sections unless I need something fancy. So I've been using classic editor sections paired with auto layout list sections so often because
Mm.
clients can't screw those up.
No. They're just
Yeah.
very, very stable, very static.
Super
Yeah,
fast to
it's
build, super fast to edit, easy to hand off.
it's
I
interesting.
feel
There's
like
a real tension there with
mhm,
web builder platforms like
mhm,
Squarespace because you have a lot of people demanding all this flexibility that Fluid Engine would allow, but you
mhm.
also, if you're going to build a project and hand it off and have it be like an asset to a company, they need stability. They care a
They need
lot more about.
guardrails.
They need guardrails, and so these
Yeah.
classic editor sections, those are just really good sections. They're much harder
Yep.
to mess up. And just
Yep.
the and I've always said this, Squarespace, their biggest thing, their biggest advantage that they have in the market is their
Mhm.
handoff ability. How easy
Absolutely.
is
Mhm.
it that you can hand off a Squarespace website?
Yep.
And Fluid Engine can be a little finicky. Can
Yeah,
be a
it's a little
little
bumpy
finicky.
sometimes. It's a little bumpy.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But I am excited. Another update, another Squarespace update.
Mhm.
I'm really pumped about this one.
Mhm.
Squarespace has released new developer documentation website. So they've
Right?
documented a lot of their developer tools,
APIs?
APIs. They just
What?
released a contacts API, and this is
Mhm.
Right now, it's in the state where it's only for like approved developers only.
Mm-hmm.
It's their OAuth extension. But
Mm-hmm.
they said they're going to open it up to everyone, which would be very exciting. So this means you can programmatically add contacts and read contacts
Mm-hmm.
from your database, which opens up a lot of possibilities. You could connect to like MailChimp, other email platforms. You could connect to other CRMs. Opens up a lot of possibilities
Yeah.
for small businesses that need the flexibility of things.
Very cool.
And so very, very excited that they're moving in that direction.
Mm-hmm.
We need to be seeing more of it. I'm going to be honest.
No
Just going to be honest.
kidding.
We need to
Yeah.
be seeing a lot more of it. I want to
Yeah.
applaud this. I appreciate
Mm-hmm.
it. There needs to be a lot more of it because
Mm-hmm.
the AI world is changing rapidly, and therefore the web design world is changing rapidly, and we need a
Mm-hmm.
lot more integrations
Yep.
with these platforms.
Yeah. So this is something that you and I did not talk about earlier, but I've been playing around with Claude Design the last couple of days.
Yeah. So
And
quick update about what Claude Design is, just for anyone
mm-hmm.
who's unfamiliar.
Yeah, so Claude, the AI tool by Anthropic, just rolled out Claude Design, which is basically a rapid prototyping tool for websites, apps, slides, anything that you could do visually. So it's not
Mhm.
Claude Code. That's different.
Yeah.
You're not vibe coding anything. This is all visual. But the cool thing about it is, well, let me say, I was reading all the stuff, how it's a Figma killer, right? Well, it's like,
Yeah.
people who do UI work using Figma, it's like, you're done. It's
Mhm.
not. Oh my goodness. It's not at all that.
No.
But it was really fun to play around with. I've got a video going live tomorrow on how I was using it. But I think that for me, there are two things that really stood out about it. One is that you could build in all of your brand elements, the way that
Mhm.
your brand works, your colors, your fonts, the typical styles you use, the images you use, anything like that. And you can have that as a resource library, and you can use that for any project. You could also build one for your clients and use that on projects. So that is really
Super
cool.
handy.
Really, really cool, fast, easy. It's great because you can chat with it or you can edit on the screen. There are two ways to go about changing things once it gives you something. But I think the thing that I love most about it is one of the things that I struggle with is the blank page syndrome, right? Like,
Mhm.
you've got this client, you've talked to them, you've got some inspiration sites, and it's time to build. And sometimes you just feel stuck.
Yep.
And this is where I think Claude Design is going to come in clutch, because you can take screenshots of those inspiration sites, feed them in with the client's brand info, and have it give you a couple of passes. And is it going to be great? No, it won't be great to start, but it will be enough to get you working on it and get you
Mhm.
past that blank page syndrome. So I think that it's going to
Yeah.
be a really valuable tool for web designers. I don't think it's going to replace us. I don't think Figma users have to worry right now. It doesn't do the components.
Mhm.
You're fine. You're fine. But it was really fun to play with.
Yeah. I bet
Yeah.
it was. So I have a couple questions for you.
Yeah.
One, why is it not going to replace Figma? I think I would agree with you, but I'm just curious
Yeah.
to hear your reasoning.
Well, I think the beauty of Figma is how it uses the components, and you can't do that with Claude Design. So that's one thing.
Mm.
But the other is Claude Design is still messy, right? Like, you're not getting things pixel perfect. You can't adjust things to the degree you can in Figma.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have the kind of the structure that Figma has. It's a little loosey-goosey. So when you're a designer, you kind of, if you're working in Figma, you are looking for that kind of structure, and you're
Right.
not going to get that in Claude Design.
Oh, fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah.
I it's at risk of stating the obvious, though. Claude
Uh-huh.
Design was released 4 days ago.
Oh, it's going to get
And,
better.
yeah,
gonna
that's
get
the thing
better.
with all of this. It just
Yeah.
gets so much better so quickly.
Mhm.
And I haven't used Figma. I think Figma Make is their AI
Mhm.
one. I'd be curious how those two compare.
I haven't used that AI either. Yeah, curious about that. But I mean, Figma has so much going for it. I think you're
They
safe
do.
for a year or two, at least.
At least. I think at least. I think it's important in these like transition phases is
Hmm.
to not just jump on the newest AI thing. I've been
Yeah.
noticing this myself. I guess one of the phrases that's popping up is like AI psychosis, and you can really go
Yes.
into this like mindset where like all you're doing is just churning out. You can now build more incomplete projects than you ever have in your entire life. But
Yep.
like actually finishing a project, those last like 10-20%
Hmm.
is still like you'd still really need to get in there and need the tools like a Figma, like a Squarespace to
Hmm.
really fine tune all the little bits.
Yeah.
And whether AI will get there or not is still very much an open question.
Yeah.
But I also want to fully agree with the idea. Like I don't think the industry of web design, the industry of developer,
Hmm.
don't see that going anywhere. I don't see that
No.
going away because business owners still want someone else to sort of take responsibility and build these things and talk to them and get it done.
Yeah.
Um,
And I want to go back to something Kelsey said on our last episode of Somewhat Useful. So Kelsey Gilbert
mhm.
Carling was talking about how Squarespace designers, we're a little more AI proof than other web designers because we've built an entire industry on the back of a DIY platform.
Yeah,
So yeah,
yeah, we
we've
did.
got a little
Yeah,
longer runway.
we really are. And it'll just, I don't know, there's, I could also make big arguments for why websites aren't going to be very important. I could also make big arguments
Right.
for why websites are going to be even more important. And
Right.
there's like the
Mhm.
future of everything is just more unknown than it's
Yeah.
ever been.
Yeah.
Well, let's wrap up our updates here because this is some good
Well,
stuff and we could go on
I
for
do
forever.
I do want to give Breely a shout out, our sponsor, because they have an
Mm,
update. They've added invoicing, which I think is so cool. I took a look at it and I have to say, they've done a really good job. So, if you're using Squarespace invoicing, it's lacking some features. It's been
mm,
a tough thing for people to integrate into their systems because it's lacking some things. Breely did a great job when they rolled out invoicing. It's it's really nice. So check that out. If you're trying to use invoicing in a tool like that, Breely is a great one. I'm
mm.
sure Squarespace invoicing will get there, but it's just not at the point where I can use it yet. Can't attach PDFs and that sort of thing. So Breely is a great option.
I haven't used Squarespace invoicing. Can you not attach PDFs?
No, you can't send it to
No,
more than one person.
that would be these would be
Yeah.
good features to add. Okay,
Yeah.
before we jump into our topic du jour of killing your darlings, let's give a big thanks to our sponsor. An official thanks, we should say. An
Yes.
official thanks to our sponsor, Breely. Christy.
Hmm. Yeah, if you run a service based business, you know the real grind is not the creative work, it's the constant admin, booking calls, rescheduling, chasing payments, and stitching together tools that only unlock the features you actually need once you upgrade. Breely flips that model. All features are free from day one, including things most scheduling platforms paywall, like signatures, accepting payments, and email or SMS notifications. Breely adapts to how you work, whether you offer one on one appointments, workshops, classes, or multi day events. Clients can book and pay online anytime, and you get automation, contracts, forms, and invoicing now, and a clean
Mhm.
dashboard that keeps everything running smoothly. No more limited plans, no more blocked features, just a modern scheduling platform built by the team behind some of the best scheduling tools in the industry. Start for free at breely.com/useful. That's BREELY.com/useful.
It's pretty good. It's pretty
Eh,
good.
not
Yeah,
my
it's
best
eight,
work,
eight, eight
but
out of 10, maybe
yeah,
7 out of
yeah,
10. Yeah, you got
yeah,
to stumble in there, but that's all
yeah,
right.
yeah.
We'll
It's
forgive you.
okay. Breely loves us
Yeah,
anyway. Thank you,
Breely.
Breely.
Yeah, we love Breely. All right, audience member, listener, viewer, what are you holding on to that you know you should be letting go of? Maybe you just don't trust yourself to let go of it yet.
That's a
There is a
big
concept.
question.
It is a big question. That's what we're going to be diving into. There's a concept called the sunk cost fallacy. And once you hear it, once you know it, you start seeing it everywhere. You've put so much time and energy into something that you want to keep going, not because it makes sense, but because quitting would mean it was all wasted, like sitting through a terrible movie because you already paid for the ticket.
Done
The
that.
more the more you've invested, the harder it is to walk away. We do this with tools, with projects, with processes. We even do this with entire businesses. And that's what I want to talk about today. When is it time to kill our business darlings? So let's
Oof.
start with
Oof.
just a direct question. What is the most recent business darling that you have killed, Christy?
Yeah, for me, it was my designer for a day offering, which I
Mm,
loved so much. It was trademarked.
yeah.
Um, it was a great win for clients, but it was just becoming unsustainable because it was such a full day of work, and I ended up not taking as many breaks as I should because I wanted to give the client everything I could during that day. And it was really hard on me, just like physically and mentally, just sitting at my desk doing this stuff and not thinking about anything else. And by the time the day was over, I was exhausted.
Yeah.
So it was really hard to let that one go though, because clients loved it. And I loved seeing what a transformation we could make in one day.
Yeah, that's hard. That's
Yeah.
really hard. What I guess a good follow-up question is like,
Mhm.
did you replace it with anything?
Mm-mm.
A designer for a day? You just knew it was
It's
the right
just
thing to just
gone.
not be doing anymore. This is just
Yeah, it's
burden.
hard because people will reach out now with inquiries, and I'm like, "Oh, that would have been a perfect fit for a designer for a day," and I want to help them, but
Mm,
it's just yeah, it's
but
just
you know
not
it's not the right thing.
sustainable. Mm-mm,
What
it's
w
not.
what was it about the day that
Mhm.
became too draining for you? That was like,
Yeah,
this isn't sustainable."
yeah, I think for me, we started at 9 and we'd wrap up around 4, 4:30, and
It is a
it
long day.
was a long day. And I would build in breaks, but I wouldn't really take them, because
Mm,
I'd get on a roll and I'd wanna,
yeah,
do stuff.
right.
It was I think for me, I knew that I wasn't capable of giving myself the rest during that day because I wanted it to be such a win for the client.
Mm, yeah. Yeah, no, I get that. That's hard.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
Those are difficult things. You've like built a process around it.
Yeah.
You have it going and it just isn't what you need it to be.
Yeah.
Um
Yep. It was hard to say goodbye, but I have to say things feel a lot more spacious now, a lot more restful. It was the right move.
yeah, it's funny how that works.
Yeah. How about you, Will?
Um
What is the most recent thing you have let go of in your business?
um there's just so many things right now. And there's so many things like it's not a hard let go, but it's more of
Mhm.
like a soft let go.
Mhm.
It's like a soft pivot or just like
Yeah.
redirecting into a
Mhm.
different direction.
Mhm.
Um, like I wouldn't say by any means we're letting go of plugins, but the
Right.
the amount of energy that's going into building new plugins, that's shifting. And I'd say the same thing and this happened a couple years ago actually, but the same thing for building Squarespace websites, or
Mhm.
Squarespace exclusive, being Squarespace exclusive.
Yeah.
Um, there just felt like an upper limit on what, like if I was going to build a custom website for someone, if a
Mhm.
client came to me and wanted a custom website, um, Squarespace just it couldn't fill all the needs, especially with what is possible now with AI and looking towards the future of what was coming.
Was
So
that
Squarespace just
hard
couldn't.
though? Because, like, you had to learn the other tools. So there had to be a time where your revenue dipped because you weren't
Mhm.
taking on as many clients because you had to learn other tools. Did that feel scary?
Um, Yes. I mean, I'm kind of an idiot in that I just like agree to things without really thinking about how much time and energy it's gonna be. I'm like, "Oh, this kind of
Welcome to
feels like."
entrepreneurship.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So I didn't I should have been a little bit more strategic probably about it, but I just jumped
Mhm.
into these other projects.
Mhm.
One was like a membership website that
Mhm.
couldn't be built on Squarespace because they needed
Mhm.
some podcast integrations.
Mhm.
So I reached for WordPress on that, and then transferred off WordPress because WordPress is just terrible. Oh my gosh, I hate it.
It's the worst of the worst.
So it's I guess hard in retrospect because when you jump into things not adequately understanding the time it's going to take, you have a lot of long nights. But so I think in retrospect it was difficult. And to be honest, I'm much more of a, like, take all of my advice with a grain of salt and understanding who I am. I'm not much of a designer. Like, I enjoy the process of thinking from a user standpoint and sort of building a product around that. But I much prefer, if I'm going to get in the minutia, I much prefer coding. I really like the coding stuff. And so it wasn't like, it was more exciting to be in some of these other worlds because you could dabble around in a lot more code. So I don't know. It was definitely a little hard, but the right decision. I think the right decision to sort of move away. It kind of made sense. Custom work is another thing I kind of pivoted away from. It's doing custom work. And the scoping of a custom work project was just way too hard for the upper limit of price you could hit. If it's just like a little integration. So those are two things I kind of sort of shifted away from. Would you ever, I know that we're ragging on Squarespace a lot today. Maybe
with love, right? It's my platform.
We're with love. Would you ever kill Squarespace as your product darling?
Wow. That's an interesting question. Like, I would never say never because I was a WordPress developer for years. I did custom coding before that.
Yeah.
So I think that's really an interesting question. I don't see myself ever killing working in Squarespace, but I don't know what's coming down the pipeline. Like, if there was another builder that felt like the perfect fit for my brain and my clients, as much as I love Squarespace, I would pivot.
Yeah.
But there's not right now. So I think we're good. Christy's going to be on Squarespace for the foreseeable future.
What is it about Squarespace that works for your brain and your clients?
That's so interesting. Back in 2017, 2018, when I realized that I did not love WordPress, nor did my clients, and that's what I'd been building in for years, I realized that there were a lot of other options out there. So I spent, the good part of a couple of years building 2 websites in every platform I could find.
Good for you. That's like, was this an intentional decision or you just?
Absolutely. Yeah. I still have a couple of Wix websites that are live out there plodding along from 2018. Don't look them up. But when I found Squarespace, the way that it dealt with the code, the CSS separately, was the way that I'd been trained as a coder, right?
Yeah.
So you have your HTML and then you have your CSS totally separate. And that was just like, oh, that's how my brain works. This is very easy. The way it handled the additional custom code for, header injection, footer injection, the way you could do it on the blogs, the code part really made sense to my brain coming from that coding background.
Yeah.
And then at the time, this has changed. As we were talking about earlier, there were so many guardrails in place. So you could create a beautiful website that was very simple to hand off to clients, and they couldn't go in and do things like add swoopies to the letters or change the color of words or totally screw up a layout without a lot of effort, right? So that has since changed. So I say there aren't those guardrails anymore. We were talking about that earlier, but it is, out of all those platforms, still the one that is the most easy to hand off to clients, even with those guardrails gone, because of the way it's set up and the way you can show people how to make edits. So for me today, it still makes sense because it's structured the way my brain works. And 2, what you said before, the handoff ability is there for Squarespace, and it's just not quite there for other platforms. And those are the clients I want to work with. I don't want to have a maintenance plan and be doing website updates for clients. I want to empower them to be able to go in and change some words or add a product,
Yeah, because that's not what clients want either. Like, they don't want to be paying for that ongoing. They don't want to.
WordPress developer. Nobody
No.
wanted to pay maintenance fees. I can't tell you how many hacked sites I cleaned up in WordPress, which was
Mhm.
another reason I left because people weren't
Mhm.
keeping up with the updates. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You got some pretty wild stuff with the hacked WordPress websites.
Yeah, we won't go into
Yeah.
that, but
Yeah.
I've seen things, y'all. I've seen
Yeah.
things.
I have too from the plugin side.
Yeah.
And you mentioned something that I think is really interesting and
Mhm.
important to keep in mind as we talk about the shifting landscape of web design and different platforms. But you said you still have some websites on Wix that are plodding
Mhm.
along from
Mhm.
2018. And that is almost certainly the vast majority of Squarespace's current customer base are people that
Mhm.
have their website, they like it, they don't need to adjust anything, they don't
Yep.
need to change anything.
Yep.
And so I think it's important to remember that, like, we're so deep in this world of building a new website once a week, every single
Mhm.
month. And the vast majority of people don't want that. They just want their thing and have it built. And if it's working for them right now, it's going to be great. So Squarespace,
Yeah.
I think they have a lot of time, more time than it might feel to adjust
Mhm.
because
Yeah.
their median customer isn't nearly as ingrained in all of these changes as we're seeing.
I think that's a great point.
But yeah, just a little
Yeah.
point. Um,
So Will, what's something that you kept way too long before finally letting it go? And what was the moment that you knew it was time to let go? Getting back to
mm,
our kill your darlings.
yes, back to the kill your darlings. Um, one thing, one thing was me doing support tickets,
Mhm.
me handling support tickets. That was something I knew couldn't work for forever.
Mhm.
And I just had zero idea how to hand that off. Zero idea. I
Yeah.
had a lot of prodding from business mentors to finally
And
put
your
up a job
wife, I'm
description,
sure.
and my wife and Ren, to finally do that. And that was a great decision, is sort of
Mhm.
getting someone else in there, going through a legit hiring process,
Mhm.
and getting Abby to handle my support tickets. That was something I
Yeah.
held on for a year and a half, probably longer than I needed to.
Mhm.
And I knew the thing is, like, you need to. You don't, because
Right.
you're looking in the future and you're like, this isn't. I don't want to be here in 3 years. I
Yeah.
don't want to be doing this in 5 years. But you just, like, for me, I would just get like paralyzed in that space.
Mhm.
So I needed some prodding along. And then on the other end is like letting clients go, letting employees go. Like,
Yeah.
those are things you also kind of you typically hold on to way
Mhm.
longer,
Mhm.
um, than you need to, because you've built a relationship either with the money that the client's bringing in or the person.
The revenue, yeah.
Uh-huh. And those
Yeah.
are also things, but you look, like, if you imagine your life 2 years from now, you're like, I know I shouldn't, this isn't gonna work. I need to get this
Yeah.
fixed. Um, so those are 2 top of mind things. What about you? What's
So
something.
when we were talking about this, I remember when I was in grad school, I had this poster. There was this company called Demotivations. I don't know if they're still around, but I had this poster and it said, "Winners never quit and quitters never win, but those who never win and never quit are just idiots."
Yeah,
And I was like, "That is
that's good.
genius. That is
That's good.
genius." Yeah, so I feel like for
That's really
me,
funny.
I always think of that when I think about, like, letting g when I like, "Should I quit this?" Yeah, because 'cause don't be an idiot. Um,
Right.
for me, it's really interesting when you're talking about client work. I'm like, I definitely wanna keep a hand in because I teach other designers how to work with clients, and that's important to me because that landscape is shifting a little bit too. But it's really hard to let go of that for sure revenue because
Yeah.
when you're working with clients, they come to you, you build a website, and they pay you, and it's
Mhm.
really nice. But last year, I rolled out my course, The Web Designer's Playbook, and that I took off a few months of client work to build that course, and it more than, paid what the clients would have paid me over that time, and now it's an evergreen product. So for me, I'm like, I think this is the direction that I need to go in. I don't want to totally give up client work. I don't think I could because I
Right.
love it. But on my list of things is to build a new course that is all about how I do template build outs for clients because it's a
Mm,
very different process than a custom build.
yeah.
And, I've talked to people about it. It seems like there's interest. So I need to, again, just carve out some time, a few months to create this course, make it as good as I can. So that's where I am now in terms of I am at this point where I am taking off chunks of time from client work. I've already talked about how I let go of designer for a day. I also let go of my hourly help a service,
Mm,
which I've missed because I got to meet people that way, hear about what the struggles were with Squarespace, which helped me
yeah.
create content. I do miss that, but it was such an interrupter in my day. It'd be like, oh, now I have a call with this person for an hour and,
Yeah.
totally change what you're working on. So I do miss those though, but it is clear. And I think that's the important thing too. It's like when you're choosing to kill your darlings, it's not going to be easy. It's not always going to be an easy and obvious choice. It's going
No.
to have to be what do I need to do for my sanity to move my business forward?
Hmm.
It's not always obvious or easy.
No. No. It's well. I mean, that's if it was, you just do it. You know,
Right.
like if it
Yeah.
was, you just do it. But it's like hard to know exactly, and you don't. I think the other hard part, and you just touched on it too, is
Mhm.
like you're losing your touch with some of the customers that sort of
Yeah.
informed these other decisions.
Mhm.
Um, and that's something I very much feel as well. Like I want to be doing I want to be interacting with more people. I need to be interacting
Yeah.
with more people. Not want to, I need to as a business
Mhm.
owner. I need to be interacting with more of my customers to really understand where are the problem points, where are the
Mhm.
pain points, what is the right next thing to be
Right.
building. And I think that's the biggest question now in the world of AI, and you can build whatever. Where do you spend your time?
Yeah.
Like, and the worst thing you can do is spend your time building something that no one wants. And I think we're more in danger of that than ever because Kelsey was saying this to me as
Yeah.
well. Our guest from last episode, she was saying AI now is like it's like a slot machine, and I feel that
Mhm.
deeply. It's just like you just like one more prompt, one more prompt. Come on,
Yeah.
just one more prompt,
Yeah.
and then I'll be
Mhm.
done. One more prompt, please. And then you just like a little bit more, and you just I find myself. I went through that a lot over Christmas break,
Mhm.
and then earlier this year, and I'm still to some degree. But you just get caught in this loop of like building this thing, and then you just like you finally go to sleep at 3 4 a.m and you wake up the next morning and you're like, who needs this thing that I was building, like besides me? Like was that the best use of the last 8 hours? Was that the
Well,
best use of my time?
how do you tell the difference between like this thing needs more time or this is never going to work?
Yeah.
You don't, right?
And you don't. First of all,
Yeah.
yeah, you don't. I don't think you really can. This is just like this is you got to use your gut and train your
Mhm.
gut and figure it out.
Mhm.
um But I do think there's some part that you talk to people. Like you
Mhm.
don't just build what you want. You build what other people want.
Mhm.
And I think there's the the Venn diagram. You love Venn diagrams. The Venn
I do.
diagram overlap of like what you want to build and what
Yeah.
someone said they want. Like
Mhm.
that's the sweet spot. You don't
That's
just
the
want to build what other.
magic.
That's the magic. And then of
Mhm.
course what other people will pay for.
Yeah.
Not just what they want, that's a key part. But I think you like in the world of AI where anyone
Mhm.
can build anything just by prompting, like you
Yeah.
need to be talking to more humans. You need to be talking
Mhm.
to your clients more, and you need to be sort of like listening in to figure out what is the problem beneath what they're saying. What's the problem? No one has an idea of what their problems are. People don't know what their problems are. They just like
Mhm.
word vomit things that are going on and they want them solved, but they don't know what they are. And if you can figure out how to hear what the problems are, I think that's going to be a hugely valuable skill.
That is so genius. I think one of the examples that I give too is as a web designer, people, my early clients would be like, "Can you make the logo bigger?" It was never
Mm,
about the logo. It was that their
no,
brand wasn't being
correct.
accurately represented on the site. So like
Great
making the
example.
logo bigger made everything ugly and didn't fix the problem. So
Hmm.
like what you said, being able to interpret their pain points in a way that they don't have language for is
Right.
going to be key.
Right. Because if they do have language for it, there's a computer that's smarter
Yeah.
than you. Like we just
Yeah.
all have to come to grips with that. If someone has language for it, they can ask an
Mhm.
LLM and get a solution.
Yep.
They're the largest of language models. We're not as large of language models. And
No, but we're
that's
creative.
but
They're
we're
not.
creative.
Yeah.
I
We also have
Oh man,
nuance.
I'm gonna get myself in trouble. I kind of push back on the creative bit. I do think
Okay.
they're actually pretty creative.
No.
I think, and I guess it depends on what your definition of
Mhm.
creativity is.
Mhm.
But I think there's different levels of creativity, and there's like the most base level is what Claude Design was doing for you in my
Mhm.
mind, which is like
Mhm.
here's the blank page. Here, let me
Yeah.
fix part of the blank page. Let me just
Mhm.
start throwing out 10, 15, 100 ideas.
Okay.
And some of those ideas are kind of creative. And so there's some level of creativity in it, but it doesn't.
I'm gonna say no, Will. I'm gonna say
No.
no. It's doing a bunch of math, and it's like, what is the most probable thing here? Let me put in a little bit of noise and push it this way or that way. It's
But isn't
never
that
gonna
what
come
we
up with
do? Is it
no.
I see a lot of human creativity, at least me.
Mhm.
I won't give this on
Mhm.
everyone, but I see a lot of like me being creative is using inputs that I've seen from around the world. I see like what
Sure.
other people have done. I see what they did over there. And there is something there is a je ne sais quoi about humanity that's like we're
Right.
able to synthesize things in a different way.
Exactly.
Um, but I if something is able to give me ideas that
Mhm.
sparks my creativity, I think
Sure.
those ideas are creative. I guess that's my point.
I
But
think we have a semantics difference.
I think we're
Yeah.
gonna humanity is just like we're gonna go into a language black hole right here. We're not gonna be able to communicate well because all of these words need like we have a
Yeah.
machine that like defines them or has an idea
Yeah.
of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I think we do have a language issue. That's so interesting. So this will be the creativity. We'll have to be following that to the trajectory
Yeah.
of AI creativity between the two of us.
Interesting. Yeah.
Um,
We'll see.
well, speaking of individualized
Mhm.
creativity,
Mhm.
how much does identity play into this? The changing landscape, the killing
Mhm.
your darlings. Both of our
Mhm.
businesses are christyprice.com, will-myers.com.
Yeah.
Like there are names. And so killing
Right.
something kind of feels like we're killing a part of ourselves. How
Yeah.
does identity play into your killing your darlings?
I think this is so interesting. I wanna go back and say, like, naming my business my name was a choice that I made
Mm,
because I knew that I would never wanna sell it because it would be my baby. And also, I wanted to give it a name so that if I do pivot, I can take it with
mhm,
me.
mhm.
Because, when I got my LLC in, like, what was it, 2018, um, I'm like, "No, this is gonna be me, and
Yeah.
I'm not gonna sell it, and I wanna take it with me wherever I go." Um, so it was a choice, but I also feel like when you let go of something that you have created, so, like, my designer for a day, when I let go of that, I actually got a lot of pushback from people who know my business and know me. They're like, "No, that's your thing. That's
Mm,
your
mhm.
thing. That's what you're known for. That's trademarked. You can't let that go." And it was really hard. It was hard to hear that because I knew letting it go was the right choice.
Mm.
So it was tough when you get that kind of pushback. Um,
Yeah.
what about you, Will? What do you think about separating out bits of your business?
I feel similarly. Like I built my business, my website was originally a blog.
Mhm.
And again, back to let's rewind back to Will being an idiot. I just was like, oh, I just path of
You're
least
not an
resistance.
idiot.
Let's throw on a store. And I like blogging about code. And then like will-myers.com became like a Squarespace tutorial website rather than just Will's ideas and
Mhm.
thoughts, which was the original was the original thing. My original website was much more about just like, here's things going on in tech land and just
Uh-huh.
like things that were of interest to me on like a feed.
Mhm.
And then it evolved into what it is today. So I'm trying to decouple it a little bit, sort of get back to my roots.
Mhm.
But I think it plays a big part into holding on to these different things. Like you don't want
Mhm.
to get rid of Designer for a day.
Mhm.
I feel the same with like plugins and a lot of my
Yeah.
coding work.
Yep.
But there's also some level of it. I'm trying to like I want to think of myself at a higher level than just the task I offer to people.
Mhm.
It's like, well, what is like the change I help someone go through? What's like the transformation? You know, if it's story brand and all that stuff. Like what's the
Yeah.
transformation people that interact with my products go through? And like
Yeah.
what's the next version of that? Now
Mhm.
with these new tools or this new me, maybe I've evolved.
Mhm.
Maybe I want to like create Instagram videos about recipes. Like how can I continue to
I
help
would
people
love
sort of
that. Sign me
transition?
up.
That's like my dream. If I made just like $1 million billion and that was what I was doing, I'd be very happy. Really fancy Instagram recipes. But like
Love it.
what is the transition? What is the transformation I'm helping people go through when they
Mhm.
interact with me? Because
Mhm.
that's what I enjoy. I enjoy helping people feel that way and sort of like level themselves up.
Mhm.
How can I do that on whatever the next thing is? What's the next thing?
I love
Um,
that perspective because it's not about you.
no,
Yeah.
no, 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 no. Yeah, a business about use. It's important. That's exciting to an audience of one,
Yeah.
maybe two, if you have loving parents.
Mom.
My mom,
Yeah.
yeah, I was gonna say my mom would always like love whatever I did. So I got an audience of two, but that's about it. Um, have you ever killed something and then regretted it? Have you
Uh,
ever preemptively killed a darling?
I don't know. Like, I don't have an alternate universe to compare it to.
Yeah,
Like, I'm thinking about like Pinterest marketing I gave up on really quickly, and I'm thinking about going back to that. I'm like, maybe, but I don't know. I
yeah,
don't know. I don't have any data to like, was it wrong to let that go? I had other things I needed to be doing. I feel like there are just so many
right.
paths we could take. How about you? Have you
Yeah,
ever held on to something too long?
no, and I feel like that's a good. Not that. I mean, have I held on to something for too long? Like, absolutely. Have I regretted dropping something early?
Uh,
I really haven't when I have, and that probably tells me I'm holding on to things habitually for too long.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, I every single time I'm trying to train my gut a little bit more. But like as you realize, if you has that feeling, it's like, oof, this maybe I should stop this. And the danger
Yeah.
is just going too early, and then you become this entrepreneur that always starts the next thing every 2 months and then never finishes or completes
Right.
anything. Like that's
Yeah.
my big fear. Like I don't want to be the person that just like jumps from thing to thing and can't ever complete something.
Yeah, I feel like it gives your audience whiplash, right? And then
Right.
you don't know if something would have been successful because you didn't give it the time it needed. That's a
Correct.
tough spot. Yeah.
Right.
But also, you don't want to be the person who's like, in 10 years, Will's like, I've got this plugin.
Yeah, check out the Mega Menu plugin. Do you
And I'll
remember
be like,
websites?
I'll be
Yeah.
80 years old and be like, I can help you with your website in one day.
Yeah.
I just need a few
Website in
naps.
yeah, exactly. I remember my sweet, sweet granddad, like every single time we went to visit him, he passed away a couple years ago, but he would always print out MapQuest directions up until like, you know, 2015, 2016,
Uh-huh.
2017, he would print them out, give them to
Uh-huh.
me. And it's
Yeah.
like, I got but never, of course, never told him. He's just being the
No.
sweetest man in the entire
I
world.
My
But
father-in-law, when we visit, does the same thing. He'll give me very detailed directions on how to get somewhere. And
mhm,
you're like, "Uh-huh,
mhm,
uh-huh,
mhm.
uh-huh."
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Yep. But I don't, that's fine with family. Love and
Yes.
family
Yes.
doesn't necessarily work with a business.
Not so
Doesn't
much.
really work with the
Yeah.
business.
Yep.
Okay, well, this has been a lot. This has been a lot
This
for
is a
starters.
lot. Well, should we take another
Yeah.
sponsor break and then come back with lightning round questions?
Yes. Sponsor break
Okay.
and then lightning round. If
Great.
you run a service-based business, you already know the real work is not just the creative or the client delivery. It's the messy admin behind the scenes, booking calls, rescheduling, chasing payments, and stitching together tools that were never built to work the way that you do. Breely fixes that. It's a modern scheduling platform built by a team that has spent decades designing the best tools in the industry. Breely adapts to your business, whether you offer one-on-one sessions, workshops, multi-day events, or anything in between. Clients can book with you and pay online anytime, and you get automated reminders, contracts, forms, and a full dashboard that keeps everything organized. And now, invoices. No more duct tape workflows, no more reinventing how you schedule. Head to breely.com/useful. That's BREELY.com/useful.
Will, I think that was a 10 out of
Oh,
10.
that felt good. That felt really
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
That was a good
Breely's
one.
proud of you today.
Yeah, I think so. Extra Breely points.
All right. Lightning round questions. Will, what is
Yes.
one skill you have that has nothing to do with your business?
Oh. I really was not prepared for this. We'll go two directions.
I think your Instagram cooking,
Instagram cooking. I do love cooking. But I've been playing piano more. I think I mentioned that on here. So playing
yes.
piano. I've been playing piano more.
What piece are you working on right now?
Adele. I'm learning the Adele songs because they're just super fun to sing to. Yeah. Someone like you. Not working on my singing, but I am working on my piano. So one direction is that, and then the other little party trick is I can burp my ABCs. So
okay, the next time I see you in person,
yeah, I'm not going to do that on the pod. Not going to do that on the pod.
That's going to happen. Yeah.
2 fun party tricks. What about you?
I can quote Jabberwocky, the poem from Alice in Wonderland that makes no sense, which is a fun party trick if all of your friends are nerds.
Are Alice in Wonderland nerds? How long is it? Is it something we should do now, or should we wait?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
you'll burp
do
the
my
ABCs,
yeah,
and then I'll
exactly.
quote Jabberwocky.
That
It'll be great.
Good. That sounds good. Christy, what is something you're embarrassed took you so long to figure out?
Oh my word. I feel like everybody knew this before me, but I have a Mac and I have an iPhone, and I didn't realize until the end of last year that I could copy something on my computer and paste it on my phone. Like, I don't know how I missed that.
Yeah, it was not a highly talked about feature, but it's I use
you're
it
just trying to
so
make me
many
feel
times.
better. Like, everybody else knew this except for me.
Yeah, I'll say everyone was using it. They just weren't talking about it. They just weren't talking about it.
You guys have got to tell me. You've got to tell me these things.
Yeah, it is. I think there is a huge business in just talking about the mundane features that you can do on iPhones and Macs. Just like all the little hidden features, if you just want to make an Instagram channel about it, I think
maybe you'll do your cooking. There. I'll do the Mac
there we go.
Stuff. Yeah, there we go.
There we go.
Our next career's done. Well, what's something you're embarrassed you took so long to figure out?
Okay, so again, not necessarily embarrassed about this, but this is just like satiating my little nerd side. But it's something you see every day, and you might not have known. When you look up at the moon, and there's a crescent moon. So obviously there's a shadow on the moon. You know, it's not a crescent. It's like there's a shadow on the moon. I always thought that shadow was the Earth's shadow cast onto the moon. And it's not. It's just the backside of the moon.
Did you learn that during the Artemis mission?
No, I learned this like around college. This is what they teach in college.
Okay, so you've known this for a while.
But it came back up through the Artemis thing. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah.
But that was something I honestly, when I first learned that, I had to just like sit and think about that for like an hour.
Like, how does that
process,
work?
like, wait,
how does that work?
The shadow, it's not the Earth. It always feels like it's the Earth's shadow, but it's not, because you can see them both in the sky at the same time. So that doesn't make sense. Anyways, Christy, What is
Yes.
the last purchase you made that you immediately justified to your spouse?
Maple kettle corn from Trader Joe's.
Maple
'Cause
kettle
it's a
corn.
problem.
Wait, would David shame you about this?
Yeah, he's like, "Really?" Like, I'll get a bag and I'll eat it all in the same day that I bought it. Like, it's a problem.
Yeah.
So, he's just like,
No,
"Really?" Yeah. I
that's
love it
fair.
so much. Yeah,
Yeah,
maple kettle corn.
I got those things. Like if there is sweets in the house,
Yeah.
I'll finish it. I
Yeah.
will absolutely finish it. 0
Mhm.
chance. It
I
stays
mean,
till the
you're
next
gonna
day.
eat it all eventually. You're gonna
Right.
get those calories
Just
anyway.
just do it now. Just do it now. You know? You might
So
as
many
well.
rationalizations
It's
I have.
it's called optimizing. It's called
Yeah.
optimizing, time
Mhm.
chunking. Just do it all
That's
right now.
right. Yeah. Yeah.
5-minute rule. Can you finish this in 5 minutes? Finish it in 5 minutes.
Done.
Done. For me,
What a Mhm.
it's a new computer. I'm getting a new computer.
Ooh, have you gotten it yet?
No, I've ordered it.
Okay, what are you getting?
I'm getting the new MacBook Pro, 16-inch,
Ooh.
but with 48 gigs of memory. And that's why it's not here yet, because the
Wow.
memory is
They're like, "We
memory.
don't know how to put that much in here."
No, we gotta figure that out. Just for anyone listening who wants some tech advice, memory is the thing that AIs eat up. They eat up. And
Mhm.
so memory is different from storage. Storage, you're going to have like 500 gigs, a terabyte.
Mhm.
Memory is much smaller, 16, 32, 48. And that's the thing that AI just craves. It wants a lot of the memory. So I've been wanting to get a new device with more memory on it, and everyone else has at the same time, so they're kind of back ordered. But I'm very
I
excited
think
for this
that's
one.
really cool. I remember back in the day where you could crack it open and just add memory yourself. Like, I did
Oh
that
yeah,
so many times. I
yeah.
wish you could still do that. You would put
Not
it in
anymore.
pairs. They had to be balanced.
I do want to
Yeah,
make a computer one day. I would love to just like order the parts and make a computer. I think that'd be
that would
really
be
fun.
fun. That would be so
Um,
fun. I would love to do that too.
wouldn't that be fun?
That'd
That'd
be
be
fun.
fun.
All right, nerds.
All right,
Thanks.
nerds. Yeah.
That's it for today's episode. Thank you all so much for listening. We hope you found this at least somewhat useful.
Be sure to subscribe to our podcast. And if you really like us, leave us a nice 5-star review, as this really helps us grow the pod. Thanks again to our sponsor, Breely, and thanks to our audio engineer, Ricky Gutton. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.